How's it going, everyone? My name is Josh, and today I'm going to be breaking down how I would hit 10K a month in 30 days, step by step. So, just for a little bit of background, it took me about 6 months to hit my first 10K month, and I learned a lot in that process. It's been a while since then, but if I could go back, this is literally exactly how I would do it. So, first, I'm going to talk about why this system is going to work. So many people overcomplicate getting to 10K a month. They think they need to do 10 different things and start 5 businesses. And once you guys start making some money and start getting closes for $2,000 or more, you're going to realize 10K a month really isn't that hard to reach. Yes, it's still a great accomplishment, but it's totally achievable for anybody. So you don't need a big team, you don't need any crazy systems, and you don't need thousands of dollars to get started. So this is how it should start. You start small. You don't need to start doing a bunch of different things. Once you realize what challenges you're having as you're going, you can start to implement new systems. Then, once you implement those systems, you'll achieve your growth. So, whether you take this system and you implement it or not, what I want you to take away from this video is that it is actually possible for anybody to reach 10K a month. And something that I did in this video to break this down is I worked backwards. I started with the goal being 10K, and I realized, what do I have to do to get there? What do I have to do to get those things finished? And what do I have to do to get started? That's how it should be. If you go into it thinking, let me start here, and then I have no clue what's going to come next, and then somehow I'm going to get to 10K, that's why it took me so long the first time. Because I didn't have systems. I just kept guessing and trying and guessing. So I'll walk you through everything. As I go through, I am going to touch on a lot of things, and I'm not going to exactly break them down too in depth. I have my Discord linked in the bio. All of the resources are going to be in there. If you have any questions, you can text me on Instagram or just check the Discord. Everything's going to be in there. Okay. This is what I just kind of went over. Achieving your success by working backwards. So this is where you start with undefined goals, and you know what your goals are, but you don't know how to get there. There's this giant gap in between. So start by defining your objectives. Define what you want your accomplishments to be. In this case, 10K a month. Next, we have to identify our steps to get there. Then create a plan, and you'll achieve your goals by doing that. So this system is super simple. You're only going to need one contractor, your time, and one simple offer. You don't need paid ads, you don't need a team, and your profit margins are going to be, I'll spoil it, 97%. So this is, just listen, guys. It's for people with only a few hours a day and $80 a week to invest. So all that out of the way, now you understand why this model works. It's lean, it has high profit margins, and it's easily scalable. Let's talk about what it actually is. This is the system we're going to follow. I'm using a contractor to find qualified leads. This is key, qualified. I'm manually calling these leads every day. I'm booking these leads onto meetings. I'm getting them on the meetings and closing them on a $2,000 a month offer. Then I'm fulfilling the service myself in a streamlined way that takes less than 10 hours a week. That's it. That's the whole system right there. We have no setters. You don't need paid ads. There's no fancy back end. It's just a cash flow machine that works if you work it. So yeah, you're probably like, Josh, that sounds way too easy. No, it's not easy, but it is really simple. And this is really all it's going to be. So you're going to have to actually sit down, dial these numbers, follow up with people, take sales calls, and fulfill them what you're promising. But that's expected. Do you think it was going to be free? If you guys think that you can just make $10,000, why do I keep doing that? $10,000 a month without putting in any work ever, and just all of a sudden have this passive $10,000 a month income? That's just not how it's going to work. If you build these systems, can you scale them and then eventually remove yourself by hiring, contractors and be doing very minimal work for the same amount of money? Yes. But can you jump from $0 to this fully automated system that runs without you? No. And that's not what I'm teaching you to do. So If you're willing to put in 3 to 4 focused hours a day, you can build something real fast. Actually, you're probably going to need a little more than that. Sorry. But this is what I also wanted to touch on. This is a little chart that I made, and most people think that what we're doing is about right here. Super simple, and it's pretty easy. It's not as easy as, something over here, but it's pretty easy and it's pretty simple. I need you guys to bridge this gap and set your expectations all the way over here. Yes, it's still simple, but there are going to be some more challenges than you'd expect. And I actually like to call this, I made this name up myself, the Valley of Annoyance. That's what I'm going to call it, because it's simple enough that you're going to get frustrated with the work that you're actually putting in. Because there's only 1 or 2 reasons why something wouldn't be working, and you're just going to get frustrated because you wish it was something else. If people aren't, if you're not booking calls with these people that you're calling, it's probably just because your offer is bad, you're calling the wrong people, or you suck at being on the phone. Like, that's really what it is. So it's going to be frustrating knowing that there isn't something else you can blame it on. But if you persevere, like you can see here, it's not that complicated, and it's still pretty far away from being super hard. So what's the first piece of the puzzle? We need to pick the right niche. Because, like I said, if you're calling the wrong types of businesses, literally none of what I just said matters. So this is what we're going for. We're going for a high ticket service or a lower ticket service that is then upsold into a higher ticket service. This makes you a lot of money on the back end. I've talked about this before. If you haven't heard this before, you're just going to have to go check out some other stuff. Secondly is going to be local businesses that need these leads in order to survive. We're not trying to hit up big chains or, like we're not trying to hit up Planet Fitness, right? We're not trying to do that. Planet Fit. They don't need advertisement. Like, they just don't need that. So this is going to offer a clear return where one customer could possibly yield them 500 to 2,000 or more dollars. This is going to make it a really easy sell. It's almost a no-brainer. If someone's paying you 2K for you to possibly bring them 10K, like, that makes sense. Who's going to say no to that? So I'm going to leak some sauce here. Here's some niches that I would actually go and call. Contractors. So this can be all kinds of things, home, like epoxy services. I don't know why that's the only one that's coming to head. I had a whole list earlier. But yeah, contractors, people who are doing big jobs, like doing things for people, right? Mobile car detailing. This one is big. Tinting, ceramic coating. So this is a good example of what I just mentioned before, where you're upselling a service. You might be able to sell somebody in the ad on car detailing. Say that's a $300 job, but eventually they might get nice ceramic tint, right? And that might be $600. Or this $300 will get brought into ceramic coating. Say that's a $1,500 job. So getting leads in the door for $300 will be very cheap for the business. They might only spend, just say $30 for this lead, but this lead might turn into this $1,500. Do you see this little loop that I'm getting into? So home service, this can be lawn care, this can be window cleaning, this can be like tree removal, there's home service is a really good one. Solar or HVAC are other ones. They're a lot more competitive, but if you have an in the industry, they can make you a lot of money. Also, another thing with this is that it is evergreen. So, what the hell is evergreen? I thought that was a tree, Josh. What are you talking about, evergreen? Yeah, it is a tree. So evergreen trees have their leaves all year round, right? So that's what it means. So you can do HVAC all year because regardless if it's summer or if it's winter, this is my snowflake, guys. It's really bad. But regardless of the season, if someone's sink breaks, they're going to have to call a plumber. That's what it means. No one's going to get their car detailed. Maybe that's a bad one. No one's going to get a new roof done in the winter if you're doing roofing. No one is going to get a new roof done on their house in the winter because it's winter. There's snow on the roof. You know what I'm saying? Like, some things just don't work like that. This is what I would avoid. Some of you guys ask me this all the time. Can I run ads for a local restaurant? Can I run ads for real estate agents? Can I run ads? Yes, you can. Is this the steps, or is this the route that I would take to get my first 10K? No, I would not. Restaurants and cafes, it's really low ticket traffic. Also, there's a lot of traffic coming in. It's going to be really hard to have a clear ROI. You don't know who you're going to be bringing in exactly. I've heard some people say, oh, I'll send them to the online website and they'll buy like takeout food. Okay, I wouldn't do that. Local shops, kind of same thing. They're just too, they might not want to pay a $2,000 retainer for ads. Like it might just not make sense for them. Real estate agents, this actually would be a good one. It's just everybody's first thought is real estate agents because they're like, oh my God, a house is, $15,000 commission. I just made it up. I don't know how much real estate agents make, but it's $15,000. And, I could run the leads for them and that's a big close and they'll be so happy. Everyone thinks this. They're getting like so many phone calls. Just don't even bother. Gyms, again, I think I kind of touched on this a little bit. Not only is it low ticket, a gym membership is maybe what, like $25 a month. You're not going to really be able to get in contact with the owner of the gym. There's not going to be like an executive decision maker at a local gym. So I would just stay away from that. But pick a good niche. There's so many niches that you guys can do. You can even, just go into ChatGPT and type in ChatGPT. Type in what are some good niches for running ads for local businesses, like to drive sales, and give it the things that I just talked to you about. A service that is between $500 and $2,000 that or something that could be upsold. I just gave you guys everything. Pick a good niche. Pick a good niche. It's really important in that if you want to make your money, you have to be doing it in the right area. So this is actually where first people make their first mistake. This is where the first mistake happens. Great. We picked a niche. We're going to go on Google. I'm going to scrape leads for 3 hours so that I can find a big list of people to call on the phone and try to sell them to, right? I'm all hyped, I'm going to make my money. I just spent 3 hours doing something that I did not want to do. Now I'm tired and I made 0 calls. How much money did we make today? $0. We made $0 from this day. What we need to understand is that there are high ROI tasks and there are low ROI tasks. For those who don't know, ROI is return on investment. So, what is your investment in this case? Your investment is your time. What tasks can you do that will make you the most money for the time that you're putting into them? Lead scraping is not going to make you a lot of money for the time you're putting in. In this example, you only have 3 things to worry about, really. Lead scraping, cold calling, and closing calls. So eventually, cold calling will become a lower ROI task because you'll have to do more things that will make you more money. But in the beginning, this is going to be your second most important thing. Closing is going to be your most important. This is your highest ROI. And this one is still good, but this, you might spend 3 hours a day. Then you have to call these leads, say that's another 2 hours. And then even with, like this 3 hours made you $0. This 2 hours actually has the potential to make you closes, right? And then the closing calls, you might only spend an hour on these closing calls, but you might make $2,000 in that hour, right? So do you see how it goes down the line in like order of importance? How are we going to fix this problem? We're going to delegate our low ROI tasks. I think that this is something that most people don't realize they can do, right? You think this is the steps, I have to go do it, otherwise I can't make money. But if you delegate lead scraping right here, you just opened up a whole world of possibilities. So by delegating low ROI tasks, we're going to have more time to do the things that are actually making us money. I have no idea what you're talking about, Josh. I don't know how to do that. Who am I supposed to hire? None of my friends want to do this. You're talking about that I need to hire someone just so that I can make 10K. I've made $0 in my life. Relax. Relax. We're going to hire what I like to call a prospect strategist. So, this is somebody who specializes in identifying and researching high quality leads. If you're not calling high quality leads, you're not going to be reaching anyone. You're not going to get any conversions. You're just going to be dialing all day. Who wants to do that? You need high quality leads. So they have a deep understanding of market trends and customer behavior. So they're only targeting potential clients. This is going to ensure you a consistent pipeline of prospects, and their work goes beyond basic lead scraping. So you can't just go online and hire anybody. If you go on Fiverr, and you type in lead scraping, you're going to see a job for $15. I'll get you 200 leads for $15, and then you're going to be like, well, that's great. That sounds great. That's 200 leads for $15, and you're going to be very, very upset because you're going to dial every single one of those numbers, and not one of them is going to be worth your time. So you can't just hire anybody. These people may use special tools or software to scrape the leads. If we're working on a tight budget, expect $80 a week for leads. So that should be about 500 leads, right? Could this take them an hour? Would this take them multiple days? It really depends on who you hire. This is a rough number from some KPIs I've had in the past. But listen, don't cheap out. Don't get the $15 one. And once you make some more money, you can buy higher quality leads. It might cost you $1,000 a month instead of $300. But that's what's going to make you more money. So what this person is going to do is they're going to put all the leads on a Google Sheet into columns with the business name, what service they provide, their phone number, their website, their reviews, their notes. Then you can call these people. Look at what we just did. We just delegated this task to our strategist. That's done. We no longer have to do lead scraping. So we just saved ourselves 15 hours a week. Now we can take that 15 hours a week and put it into the things that are actually making us money. Whether that's running the ads, whether that's calling the list, whether that's closing, whether that's onboarding. I don't know. The whole board just opened up for us now that we just delegated this, and we got 15 hours a week. Guys, that's a part-time job. You just delegated a part-time job for like $80. So this overall is going to boost your productivity because these leads that you just got from this person are probably higher quality than the ones that you were looking at because they know what they're doing and you don't. So here you go. It increases your profitability and business expansion. You're going to make more money. What's next? The offer. If we have these leads, we need to call them, we need to sell them. What are we selling them, Josh? Well, we're selling them a really simple $2,000 a month lead gen offer. I am not going to offer 100 different services. I am going to run meta ads for your business. That's it. Maybe I'll make the creatives too. Maybe I'll make the creatives for the ads because with lead gen ads, you don't need to refresh them too often. So this is kind of a one and done thing every few weeks, instead of having to make 5 creatives a week like you do with ecom. So this is it. I'm not coming in here, I'm not saying I'm going to make you a website and I'm going to do this and I'm going to run your ads and I'm going to do 100 different things for you and I'm going to be, your little assistant and I'm actually going to come out to the job site and help you do the job. I'm going to run your ads, I'm going to get you leads. That's it. I'll just manage it. You'll get your leads. You do the, be happy. You don't need to offer 100 things. It's about how you sell it, not what you're selling. So, for example, this is just an example offer. We'll get you 10 to 30 new leads every month, or we'll work for free. So what we do is we call this a risk reversal. So I go back and forth with risk reversals, and it really depends on the person, it depends on the situation, and it depends on what you're trying to do. Risk reversal can sometimes lower your perceived value because if something is so guaranteed to work, why would you offer it for free? If you're so confident, you wouldn't even mention the fact that if it doesn't work, because you know it's going to work because you're confident in it. So this sometimes can make you seem unsure of your product. Sometimes this will make someone feel so safe in your offer because in their head, even if it doesn't work, I don't have to pay. I'm doing this with zero risk. So play this game. Do you want a risk reversal or do you not? Do you want to come off confident and super authoritative and make your clients think, wow, this guy's so confident that this product is going to work, he's not budging? Or do you want your clients to think, wow, this is such a safe offer, I'm going to take it, and even if it doesn't work, I'll be fine? Both work. Both work. Pick one. You have to make your offer unique. You can't be the same thing that everyone else is selling. I'm giving you these ideas to you, and I'm telling you what I would do. Make your own offer. If you just take what I just told you, everyone who watches this video is going to go call the same niche with the same offer, trying to pitch the same thing. They're going to say you guys are fish. Like, do something original. So ROI is easy to sell because one client could be $1,000 for them. You need to put emphasis on this. Business owners love their return on investment. I'm a business owner. I'm not buying something if I don't see a return on it. So another thing you can talk about is that it's location-focused targeting. If a business is working don't want to go over there yet. If a business is working in this city right here, say you can target within a 50-mile radius of them. And they're going to be like, wow, that's great. Or, say that it's just one guy, he doesn't really have a big team. Say you can target a 25-mile radius for them. Sell that, bro. That's great. They don't know how you're doing that. These businesses, that sounds amazing. That sounds like voodoo magic, right? So another thing is the client only is going to need $30 to $50 a day in ad spend. This so heavily, it seems like such a low investment for such a big return. And it kind of is. Instead of telling someone, hey, you need to spend $1,500 a month, also pay me $2,000 a month, and you might get 10 leads. That sounds bad. That sounds so bad. If you're telling someone, yes, it's $2,000 for me to run this service, but you only have to spend $30 a day. If it's performing well, we can bump it up to $50 a day, and I can guarantee you whatever you want to say, right? Whether it's 2 new jobs, right? If each job is 2K, that's 4K or whatever. Come up with something. They would probably need 12 jobs, right? If they really wanted to make their money. So, 12 jobs at, $1,000, that's 12K, right? Minus the 2,000 ad spend, minus the 1.5 ad spend, that's 3.5. They're left with what, like 8.5K? That's not bad at all. Who would be upset with seeing this number? Instead of saying, you pay 35 out of pocket, and you might get 10 leads, versus you'll pay 35 and you might get $8,500, right? In your pocket, after expenses, everything covered. There's a ton of ways that you can frame your offer to make it sound more irresistible. That's what we want. We want someone to look at your offer, hear you say it, and go, wow, why would I not do this? Why would I not do this? Add urgency. This is another one. Limited spots per area. If you're calling people in the same area, this is totally something that you could say, to beat their competitors, or that someone else, and you notice someone else was already running ads. So if you want to, beat them, you got to hop on this. Like, so many ways that you can sell, guys. There's so many ways. Don't get test things. That's another thing. Test. Test. Try one offer on 100 people. Then try a different offer on another 100 people. Find what works. You don't have to pick one thing and do it till the day you die, right? You can switch things up. This is probably the most important tip that I can give you with your offer, especially when you're only offering one service, ads. All we're offering to these people is ads, and that's really it. Ad management, maybe ad creative, ad budgeting, ad targeting, but like it's just ads. You're just giving these people ads. And that's fine. That's not bad that you're doing that. But don't try to sell it as a feature. You want to sell what they're going to get from your ads. So the result is money. The result is money. What is this money going to do for them? Maybe one of the business owners' significant other has a birthday coming up and they want to get him a nice present, right? This is a little diamond ring, right? So they can get him a nice ring. Or maybe he's getting old and he really wants to retire and he wants to hire some more people, but he doesn't have enough money coming in to, hire some employees, He doesn't have enough jobs. No one wants to work for him. Sell what they're going to get. Sell them their dream. Sell them their dream from your product. Why is your product going to get them from here to here? Do not sell them on the fact that you're going to run the ads because nobody cares. It's not impressive, and they don't understand why it's important. Sell them on the results. For everything, like everything in this field so far, I shouldn't say everything, but for this, sell them on results for this. Perfect. What have we covered so far? It's been 30 minutes. Sorry. What have we covered so far? We've talked about our strategy. We've selected a niche. I've talked about bringing on a strategist to get you the leads. We've created an offer. The last step is actually making the money. Here's your little recap. So now we just have to make the money. We have plan, niche, strategist, offer. I'm walking you through this. I wanted to make sure that you guys were caught up and were paying attention because I'm going to show you how to do the complete fulfillment, but we went through everything that you had to pretty much have done and in motion before you can actually get started. This is where your work comes into play. This is a bunch of fun thinking. Yeah, I'm going to have this offer and I'm going to sell this and I'm going to do this and I'm going to run these ads. But that's not going to make you any money saying those things. So I'm going to show you how to make the money. First, we have to do some math. No, I'm kidding. We're not doing that. I already did the math for you, and it's not that complicated. We're working backwards here. Our goal is $10,000. If we're selling a product for $2,000, we need to have 5 closes. So if we need to get 5 closes, how many calls are we actually going to need to take? So assume we have a 25% close rate. I'm going to explain how you're going to get that. But you have a 25% close rate. You're going to need 20 calls attended. Well, how many meetings do we have to book in order to get 20 people actually on the call? I hope you guys see the pattern here. You're going to assume we have a 70% show rate, and I'm going to show you how to have a better show up rate as well. We're going to need 29 meetings booked with a 70% show rate to get these 20 calls attended. Great. How many people do we actually have to get on the phone with in order to get 29 booked meetings? Assume we have a 10% meeting booking rate. You're going to need 290 conversations. How many people do I have to call in order to get 290 conversations? Assume we have a 15 to 20% pickup rate. Because we're using good leads, this is how many. 1,500 to 1,900, which is 85 to 100 calls a day, 5 days a week. That's not that bad. Does that really look like that? That looks so much easier now that you understand what numbers, these are called your KPIs, right? Now that you understand what KPIs you're trying to hit, getting $10,000 a month looks so free. This is so much easier than you probably thought. So let's start with the sales calls. You follow this structure. I have scripts in the Discord that you can use, but this is what we're going to do to aim for 25%. You're going to go over their current process, talk about their pain points, introduce your offer, maybe share some examples if you have some, handle objections, and close on the spot. This is a one-call close. I guess you can call it a 2-call close because you're cold calling them. But after your phone call, that's a little phone right there, like the two cans. You're just getting on the cold call to get them on the sales call. And then on that sales call, you're closing them. So your biggest thing here is going to be talking about their current process and their pain points. I actually have another video about how to close your first client without any testimonials. You can go check that out. It's more towards ecom, but it'll still work. So closing on the spot, aim for 25% close rate. Boom, 5 clients. Now you're basically a sales wizard. Next, 20 calls attended. This is what I am going to do, or this is what I currently do to get my show rate up. My show rate is really high. I don't really have anyone miss a call from me. So I book people on Calendly. I actually have Calendly Pro because I'm super great. So it's only $10 a month. Just get it. If you're going to do this, just get it. So when you create your call here, there are these settings. You have to be on the computer to do this. But what you do is you click on your call. It'll show you all your information about it. Click on more options. Go to notifications and workflows. You can click text reminders right here. Click on edit. And right here, copy these settings. Do this kind of timing where they're going to get a text 1 day before, 1 hour before, and 10 minutes before your call. They're going to get 3 notifications that they're on the phone. They're going to be on the phone with you. It's also going to send them the Zoom link and everything so they don't miss it. If they are going to miss it, the chances are they're probably going to text you first, which is going to be just so much nicer than showing up and waiting on the call for 10 minutes for no one to show up. You can also change this message. So if you wanted to send them any type of warming up sequence where you're talking about, this is the process, XYZ. You guys know what I'm talking about. But if you wanted to send them a video to try to warm them up some more before the call, you totally can. You don't want to get too annoying though. These are fine. I think these are fine. So that's how you get that 70% show rate from these cold calls, right? Next is going to be your booking rate. So manually cold calling, it'll take you about 2 to 3 hours a day. Guys, 10K a month. 10K a month, you're doing cold calling 2 hours a day. Grow up and do it. I'm tired of seeing people talk about, I don't want to cold call. I hate cold calling. It's 2 hours. Lock in for 2 hours. Drink an energy drink and just, turn your phone off. Or actually, you can't turn your phone off, but don't check your Instagram. Don't check your Snapchat. Just dial in. Do it. So use a script that qualifies. You want to build curiosity and book a call. You want a script that books a call. Like I said, we have scripts. Check the description. Log your leads in a CRM or a Google Sheet. This way you can follow up with warm leads. So the person who's getting your leads for you will already have this in the Google Sheet usually, and you can just go through that same sheet, but add your little notes over here. Yes, interested, no interested, call booked, not interested, not interested. Then later on or tomorrow, just go call like whoever the 4 people who said they were interested but were too busy, right? Or maybe in 2 weeks follow up. Just figure out a system that works for yourself, but be persistent with warm follow-ups. They will make you money. A lot of people also make this mistake. They're trying to sell on the cold call. Do not even mention ads. Please do not mention what you're going to do. It gets rid of all the curiosity. You want to be like, hey, can you take on 10 more 10 more jobs this month? Can you take on 10 more jobs this month? Like, what if I told you that get you extra 5, 10, maybe 15 jobs this month? Would you be interested in that? Okay, you don't have to sound like that, but that's an example, right? You can also tell them that it's a cold call. Recently, I've seen a lot of people doing this, and it kind of disarms them. It takes their guard down. They're like, oh, this guy wants to sell me something, but maybe I should be sold something, right? Like maybe I am a good fit. Maybe he's calling me for a reason. Maybe this will help my business. So a ton of different strategies that you can take as an approach here. But what you're trying to do is sell the call. You're trying to sell the idea of them getting on the phone with you for 30 minutes for you to actually sell them and tell them what you're going to provide and how it's going to help their business, what they need to do. That's what you want to sell. Do not try to sell the service on the cold call. So You're going to need to make, following these numbers, around 300 to 400 cold calls to land your first client. If you're on the lower end, it could be between 200 to 250. If you're on the higher end, say that it's around 500 to 600. If you've never cold called before and you don't sign a client within your first literally this is your first time cold calling and you follow the scripts, have a good offer, call good businesses, and you don't sign a client within the first 1,000 people, you're doing something wrong. This it you it's a good offer to people who need it. It's not like you're trying to sell Cutco knives, right? You're trying to sell a service that will generate them money. You're selling something good. You're not. This isn't like a pyramid scheme where you're trying to sell something that nobody wants. You're selling a good service. So if you're not signing within 2,000 or 1,000 calls, you're doing something wrong. So now that you've actually closed someone, you followed the scripts, you did a great job, you called 300 people and you closed someone. Now we need to onboard them and actually fulfill. So what I recommend is setting up a Google form or a Notion checklist or these videos that I have shown multiple times before for onboarding. This will just save you so much time. Instead of having to take a super long onboarding call, you can just send them the assets, get what you need. You don't have to walk them through or get on a Zoom and screen share and show them how to set everything up. They'll do it. You'll get access to the ad account, the creative assets, and you can send them a little scheduling link here. I know this says 1 hour, but that's just my time blocking. This can literally be a 5 to 15-minute call. You literally just ask them, hey, I'm going to send you all the videos to get you set up. If you have any questions, text me. Make sure to upload your Google Drive. Make sure to upload the creatives in the Google Drive. If you want, you don't have to worry about this, but if you're adding them to your Slack channel, like I've talked about before, mention that on there. But yeah, here. So you can see here, onboarding walkthrough video. Number 1, how to organize your Google Drive for the creatives. Facebook, 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 Facebook. Walkthrough video. Make sure they did everything before they even come back to you. Once they watch all these, you know they're set. So make sure to get your service agreement, your contract signed, and get your money. Collect your money, guys. Don't, so many people will do 1 month free. Why? Why are we doing 1 month free? Maybe 1 week free trial? Maybe. I even don't like that because you're doing work and you're not getting paid. Get paid. Take your money. Get paid. That's how service works. I also have a service agreement contract template in the Discord. Everything I've talked about is in the Discord. It's free. It's free. Here's your fulfillment system though. Once you get everything signed, this is what we're going to be doing. We're going to be doing meta lead ads. It'll only take you about an hour to an hour and a half per client per week if you're using a repeatable creative and copy system. If you're sticking in one niche and you're doing slightly different locations, it'll be super easy to run pretty much the same ad for the same niche, plumber. And you can just do this copy paste over. Switch the picture, switch the offer, switch the website. Super simple. And you can send them lead reports weekly. So this is just a little screenshot, 329 leads, whatever this is. Have a little written message. Hey, Joe, this week we got 25 leads. Let me know how many of them closed. Perfect. So simple. This is what we're going to be doing. This lead objective right here. You need to create an instant form. This is like bare bones again. This isn't a video about how to do lead ads and get good leads, but this is what we're doing. Okay, sorry, I kind of just went over all this, but I think my recording software crashed. So here, weekly and monthly time breakdown. Don't worry, guys. I didn't just walk you through all this for you to go, oh, I have to work 100 hours a week. This is so unrealistic. Why did he lie to me for 30 minutes? No. You're going to be cold calling for about 10 to 15 hours a week, which is a lot, but you're going to be able to delegate this in the future. This isn't a forever kind of thing. Get it over with. Do the hard work now so you can do the easy work later. You're going to do about 2 to 3 hours of sales calls a week, 1 to 2 hours of onboarding, 5 to 8 hours of managing the ads. And this is what you're actually getting paid for, by the way. 5 to 8 hours. So take it how you will. And just some other miscellaneous work will give you an extra 1 to 2 hours a week to do. So your total weekly is going to be anywhere between 20 and 30-ish hours a week. No, I'm not teaching you some weird side hustle that you can do for 3 hours a week and make a ton of money. This is a job. This is a job. And this also isn't just 10K one time. This 10K is going to be monthly reoccurring. This is going to be 10K a month, 10K a month next month. Next month, all you have to do is this part to make that same 10K. You're just setting yourself up. And this also, as I just explained to myself by accident, was you can. Oh, what was I just about to say? Oh, I'm doing this on a speed run basically. If I only had 30 days to get back to 10K a month, not back to, if I had 30 days to reach 10K a month, this is exactly what I would do. This is, if I only had 30 days, of course I'm going to put in the 30-hour weeks. If I only had 30 days, of course I'm going to do that. I'm not going to slack off. And honestly, I'd probably put in 60 hours a week if I only had 30 days because I'd be stressing, you know? So here, if you make this 9,700, you can then reinvest some of the money. I'm not saying it's going to be 4K, but for example, if you wanted to reinvest 4K, you totally could. You can take yourself out of some of these equations and get some of your time back from this 30 hours a week, which is less than a full-time job. Anyway, your monthly total is going to come out to 100 hours a week. I mean, a month, 100 hours a month. Your contractor cost is going to be about $300 a month, and you're going to keep $9,700. Your effective hourly rate is going to be $100 an hour. Do you know how many jobs you can get with a college degree that don't even pay anywhere near this? This is good money, guys. And this is simple. I just broke it down. I just broke down every step that you actually needed to take in order to do that. I should have charged you, a full college tuition to watch this video. I'm kidding. But this is why this works. So everyone wants this 10K a month number, but they're doing it with so much in expenses. They're hiring bad lead scrapers. They're getting dialers. They're getting closers. They have a media buyer. They're doing all this extra stuff. Just do it by hand to start. Keep 97% of the profit that you're making. Keep 97% of the money. Now you have the ability to reinvest, expand the business, and you're going to get proof, experience, and full control of what you're actually doing. You're going to now see what you need to do in your business to make more money. I can't tell you without looking at your business and doing a deep audit what you actually need to fix in order to make more money. I don't know where your bottleneck is. I don't know what's stopping you from making more money. When you do everything yourself and you're in full control and you know how everything is performing, you know what your metrics are, you know your KPIs, right? You can choose to take a step in the right direction on your own. And that's amazing. So, now that we have 10K, what do? Watch this video. I'm not kidding. Yeah, funny. I plugged my own video. Watch this video. Guys, it's an hour long for a reason because I'm actually telling you good things that you need to do to get out of this bottleneck of 20K a month. So I broke down every single system. You can just copy it. Just do everything that I said. Reinvest, do this, do that. But here's some things since I'm not going to leave you hanging. So you can raise your prices. You can hire a media buyer to take care of some of the fulfillment. You can hire a setter if you want to him to take care of some of the, acquisition. That's the word I was looking for. You can scale with some paid ads. Look, we were just doing paid ads, but now we can use them. You can do referrals, or you can even start putting time into content. So there's a ton of things that you can do. We have so many resources in the Discord. I've mentioned it probably 10 times by now. But if you want any standards of practice, contract templates, scripts, literally anything, just help in general, go join the Discord. It's in the description. Also, you can send me a message on Instagram if you need any help or want me to help you set this up personally with you. Other than that, just subscribe. I appreciate you guys a lot. I hope that you learned something from this video. And if you don't make $10,000 in the next 30 days, I don't even want to put that into the universe because you guys will. You guys will. If you implement what I told you and everything that I went over this video, you will hit $10,000 in 30 days. because this is exactly what I would do to hit $10,000 in 30 days if I had to start over. So I hope you guys learned something. Make some money, make me proud. Leave a comment if you learned something. Join the Discord, send me a DM. Let's win, guys. Let's keep going. Let's keep on a roll.